Okay, let's now do a reading for Libra for the month of May. See how you're getting on, surviving from last month. Last month it was interesting. It was about balancing, which is sort of pretty typical for you, Libra. So let's see what we got. Okay, for Libra, the month of May. Where's your head at? What's the root of it? Okay, let's check out the numerical spread. All right, a little bit battle scarred from the beginning of the month. Still feeling it entering the rest of the month, but there will be success. Well, that's pretty sequential almost, isn't it? Okay, so beginning of the month sees you sort of reflecting on your battle scars. Middle of the month finds you still having a few fights on your hands or a few things to work through. But the end of the month sees you feeling quite successful. In your head, you don't really know what's going on because you're entering a new cycle. Oh, wonderful. Look at these cards. Oh, I was hoping that was going to be a major as well. Okay, so at the beginning of the month, while you're going through all of this sort of processing and reflection on how you got to where you are and all your hard-earned wins, it's because, you know, this is a number 9 as well. This is 0. So you're starting a new cycle, perchance, entering a new genre, theme, activity, work, I don't know, relationship. And the root of all of this is that you've been quite concentrated and focused on keeping balance, whether that be in your life or your relationships or finances. But at the root of all of this is you keeping balance between the hard-earned wins and that desire or need to be free, like the Fool. In the middle of the month, another major, you're still feeling quite battle scarred, but in your head you feel like you've got this, you're quite strong. This freedom gives you a sense of strength, of freedom of choice perhaps, but you still have to battle. You're still learning things and you're still teaching people lessons, still learning, still fighting, still setting things up into place to ultimately lead to your conclusion. Now, the Hangman suggests that at the root of all of this is a serious sort of point of contemplation. You have the strength to do all of this, and you have the energy to do all of this, but at the root of it is that you're trying to keep a sense of balance and perspective. You're changing perspective, but you're not really sure the full lie of the land. At the end of the month, it's quite successful. You stride on your white horse. You've achieved what you need to achieve, but there still is this element of decision making that you have to do, and you're really not sure if what's being offered to you is exactly what you need. So that even though you're riding in on the horse, there's also a little bit level of contemplation about choices that you have to make. At the root of all of this is a sense of security and prosperity or wealth, abundance, and control. So we go from letting go of control to controlling to decision making, that hopefully will have its root or lead to you having that sense of security that you've really been working at trying to get through analyzing and looking at things in a different way, trying to maintain balance, fighting for balance, having the strength to fight for balance, but also realizing that change is good. Change brings you to the trials and tribulation, but ultimately leads you to a successful win. Still unsure about where your head's at in relation to that. All right, let's use the numerical now to see where Libra is going. While I'm shuffling, if we look at the astrology for the month, it says it's about finding peace and harmony and balance. Okay. Work on your relationships and seek support when you need it. Focus on creating a life of ease. So I suggest that these cards are doing that. You are focused on balance and getting the right perspective, and the life of ease would come with financial, emotional, and security. You're putting in the hard work, you're reflecting, and hopefully there's success. These cards are quite good. So what does the numerical say for you as clarifying cards for Libra? Okay, combinations from the master teacher or the loving master. No place like home and cutting ties. So it's all looking at your emotions. It's all looking at the master teacher, about what you can learn, what you have learned, and what you will gain. I would suggest that the combinations is 2 here and 2 here. We've got 6s. What have we got? 9s, 4s, 7, 6, 7s. Okay. So I got 7 and 6 here, 7 and 6 here. So we'll stick with just this row. As clarifying cards, I'd suggest that the combination card says to you to look to combine some things that you might even think are opposite to try to make a great success. So, you know, the idea that the fish and the onion combined together are actually a beautiful combination. All cultures around the world like to combine these sort of flavors together, and they make a successful combination. So beginning of the month, successful combinations, joining together 2 people, 2 ideas. I also get this feeling of this path and this path, so changing paths, changing directions, or not so much changing directions, but because you've got this hard-earned, hard-won reflective moment where you've been trying to keep balance, you know, your brain's saying it's time to launch into a new thing, a new combination, a new element. And 2's good. It's the beginning of the cycle. It's combinations. It's support. You've got support there. I've got the 2 shoes here as well, for no place like home. And if we look at first number 2, it's about balance and duality. So these guys work really well together. Number 6 is about balance and harmony, about love. So maybe in the middle of the month, and like, you know, strength has got a love in that too, a lot of love in that too. So maybe in the middle of the month, you're sort of feeling like a bit insular. You're relying on your own strength to build up these skills and to kind of get this hard-won win. Gosh. But there is this element of reflection, and perhaps, you know, these colors are very similar, the red, blue, and yellow, red, blue, and yellow. So I'd sort of say, what's that? That's a 12, which makes 3, which is half of 6. So I'd suggest that there is an attempt to find like-minded people, or to find the right situation, or just to get the right fit. You know, right fit of shoes, the right fit of home. You know, when your home's in the right state and you know, the bills paid and the roof's fixed and all those kinds of things, you feel secure. So that level of security and strength is supporting you here. So you do have some, you know, either you've got your own back or others have yours, but there's this duality or this combinations of 2, and 2 into 6 goes 3. Okay, finally at the end, when you are learning to be a more abundant or prosperous and successful, you're still sort of thinking that there's something else to be done that you're unsure of, and I would suggest that these go together, that there is something further to do or choose, and it could be cutting ties. I sort of see the Fool and cutting ties can be very, very similar, where there's this, and also for me, this card is, when I made it, was the Hangman. But these are very, very similar themes. You know, you've got this leaping into the unknown, hanging upside down to see things from different perspectives, different perspectives, but also making choices. What are you going to cut out or remove to get your head in the same space and game as this? All right, Libra, interesting month for you. Triumphs at the end, hard work in the beginning and the middle. Good luck. I wish you all the best of success. Remember to look after yourself emotionally. There is a lot of love here, and teaching, a lot of learning. Great. Have a good May.